It's Punch It Podcast Let's Roll, a D&D discussion at the Kessel Run with Marco and Matt.
Hello everyone, it's Marco from Punch It Podcast on a new adventure at the moment here at Kessel Run, hair&collectibles. I have one of our other offsiders, Matt or Matthew, or Matt as we like to call him. We're venturing into a new, let's just say, world of D&D here at Kessel Run, hair&collectibles. And we've got a very good friend of ours that we thought, you know what, why don't we start another podcast? Because there are so many out there already, and we thought, why not? Let's go to another one and continue on this adventure called Punch It Podcast. Let's roll. Do you like that, Matt? Yeah, I think he does. But anyway, if you're not a fan of D&D, I'm sorry I can't help you. You can wait for Jesse and I and other adventures of Punch It Podcast, and we can talk about all Star Wars stuff. But this podcast is going to be about D&D at Kessel Run hair&collectibles. And to give an introduction, we've got a special guest coming on right now who's right next to me, who I'm going to introduce, and that is Sachin. He is our Dungeon Master. Sachin, how you going?
Hey, everybody.
All right. Now, Sachin is been a client of ours for many, many years, and Matt and I, we just talked about we need to basically to get started. And Matt can tell you a little bit about D&D and his experiences as well as here, if you like.
Well, true. It's just,
this is your first time you've talked on the mic too, by the way, isn't it?
yeah. Well, I mean, I did say I like the high roll. Yeah, D&D is, it's one of those vices where you can kind of do whatever you want. The game is played with imagination, and I evidently have quite an imagination. So I'm constantly sitting there. I've been talking about D&D style stuff for years. Like, I'd love to make this character, this. And then I believe, Sash, you actually came in for a haircut. And
I came in, it was just a off comment that came out of nowhere. Just talking about D&D appeared out of the blue.
Yeah.
I think this happened. Did this happen? Did we talk about this last year, or is it the year?
This would have been last year. Yeah. Because you guys had the warehouse and you were refurbishing it.
Yeah, it would have been 6 months ago.
Maybe I would have said.
I reckon we did our introduction a little bit longer ago than that. Because that's when you turned around and you were like, I'd love for Sash to show me.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And you're like, Matt, you should join. And I was like, I was going to go home. And you're like, play? And I was like, okay, all right, fine. You threw some.
That's right. Because we were, I had never played D&D before, so this is D&D is something new for me, and I knew nothing about D&D, but I've obviously talked about it with a lot of clients over the years, and it has been something obviously I've always been interested in trying to do, because I think one thing about D&D is it opens your mind into a world you want to create. It could be whatever you want it to be.
100%, yeah.
That's the beauty too. So I've been talking to another friend of mine, and he's been looking to see if he could do Star Wars D&D. I've seen Call of Duty Zombies D&D and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't matter. Again, it's the whole imagination. It doesn't matter what the world is as long as you play it.
But it does. One thing you've always said, it's important to have a good dungeon master, and I'll say that we're pretty lucky with you, Sachin, because you do have a wonderful gift,
you.
and you're very good. You've opened the world up for us.
Yeah.
And from playing just Matt and myself, and then now bringing in quite a few other people, and you're running 2 games at the moment.
Yeah, it's the most fun I've had in a while.
So tell us about your journey with D&D and stuff like that.
I think D&D's always been, as you said, like, it's been word of mouth mostly. It's never been something I've ever played with a group before, and it's been usually just like backdoor conversations about, have you ever talked about this game? Have you been watching the podcast, or like the Legends of Adventurous, Critical Role, Dimension 20, and all those kinds of people. And I've watched a couple of those episodes, and I fell in love with it, and I was like, wow, this is so much like theatre in a way. And I fell in love with theatre well before D&D, and then getting a grasp of the fact that it is a performance of the theatre and the theatre of the mind. for other people to enjoy your story, and then you also build on their story which they're playing internally, and it's like it's a continuous cycle, and that's just what like is the best part about it, is that it's a continual cycle of like give and take.
Had you played or DM'd before?
I played one game of D&D before that, and I owe a lot of that just to my friends who came over one time at my house, and I was like, why don't we just try a game of D&D? And I didn't have any manuals, I didn't have any structure like that. I used what I learned from watching YouTube, from watching those D&D people, and I just used that, and I completely I ripped out the textbooks pretty much for the shot-for-shot remake of Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp and that kind of whole decapitation, the Headless Horseman. And I loved that whole murder mystery style. And I was like, I don't want to throw these guys into something that they're not used to, because everybody loves, I think, in general, a murder mystery. And I was like, why don't I just throw them into Sleepy Hollow and get them to solve the mystery? But it was a shot-for-shot, like, questionnaire from the same characters from the movie to the script, and it was just kind of back and forth with them, and they, by visual, like, they enjoyed it. They loved the fact that they got to talk to NPCs. They loved the fact that there was a mystery after trying to solve a smaller mystery, and it was just that culmination, which I saw everybody in the room starting to take quite an interest in, and it was a lot of those people who had played it never did or didn't know about it. So once I threw them into it and they got the concept, that's when people started getting, this is actually something I can invest in. And it was like that kind of trigger that I can create a story completely made up and have people invested in their character and the story.
Oh man, we are invested. We've.
You know, I actually said, I said to Marco after our last session, when you perfectly, might add, brought in Grungle, and Marco flipped his lid.
You have
Yeah.
to. You have to. I think we have to explain
The backstory for Grungle and Kesselius.
Well, so for the introduction that Sash had gotten us into, we played as two characters. Marco was.
We just made them up, like
Yeah.
literally just.
Marco was Kesselius the Dragonborn, and I was.
Sorry, but just okay. Well, what I loved is like, and like, not knowing anything about it, you said, okay, what character do you want? And I didn't know, and you said, do you want to be a dwarf, a wizard, a paladin?
Yeah.
All these characters, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then I knew I liked dragons. When you said dragons, I was like, oh, okay, I want to be a dragon.
Hell, I just got Mordekainen's Guide of Monsters, I think it's called.
Yeah, right.
I was just showing Marco. I was like, hey, you can be a race called a turtle, and you can be basically a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Raphael, 100%. Yeah.
That's one of the things I liked, is you going, okay, I can actually be something I want to be, that where can my mind take me? But make it interesting.
But it also doesn't matter, because my current character in our game is, I ripped most of the story off of Assassin's Creed 2 for Ezio.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's an established character, as long as, because I mean, the story
The
is so
Sleepy
different,
Hollow,
and
yeah.
I've left most of my character's story to you.
Yeah.
So I still, even though I know how, I played Assassin's Creed 2 how many times?
Yeah.
But I don't know how you're going to have my story go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sat down, and you said for Kesselius, you were just like, I had the book, and you were like, I want to be a Dragonborn. We're like, cool, let's do it. Yeah. What
Just
class
building
do you wanna be?
blocks. Yeah.
How do you want to beat someone up, basically? You know, do you want to beat them up with a sword or a spell or whatever you want? And then I made Grungle the Goblin.
Grungle's Matt's character. So
Yeah,
First character.
That's my. He's my silly little goofy guy.
he loves to drink.
He loves to be
He's a big time alcoholic, except for the fact that
Big time.
Sash ever so kindly had him get poisoned.
Yeah.
And now he's canonically a cautious alcoholic.
Survived the
and
first.
I've let go of the grudge. I really haven't. But Marcus Kesselius kind of just watched Grungle being poisoned on the floor and just goes, I continue on my way. I just adventure.
I didn't know. I just thought, well, look, he's no use to us. So
He's dead weight.
No, I get it. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
good.
I forgive you. Yeah,
And then you realize that the characters can hold grudges.
Yeah.
And they can come back with a vengeance.
And
I love
that's what I love to see when you two started to develop your character, and I threw you into my world, Alluriel, and you decided on the map that I created where you wanted to start your adventure, and then I just had you guys enact a little role that you guys were heading to a town that was full of liquor, and that was already that was already perfect for one of the characters, but another character needed to we established you looking for someone.
Yes.
That was what you wanted to do in the first ever D&D session, was looking for someone. And you outgoingly like collabed with this little goblin, a burden to you, but you saw that it had its advantages at certain stages. And Grungle was just kind of...
Grungle was good to throw.
Grungle was just like not a throwaway character, but just something that you could play with as just a first character.
That was because I had never played D&D, but obviously I played the first, like all three Baldur's Gates. I've known D&D, I've watched Critical Role, that sort of stuff. I just didn't know the sort of nitty gritty aspects of playing D&D. So I wanted to make a character that was not a background character, but someone that didn't need to take the spotlight, especially while you were learning. That's why as soon as you were like, I'm looking for someone, I was like, cool, I don't need to do anything here. I'm just going to steal things and drink booze. So, and it worked perfectly for an introduction as well. Because you could just see, even we only played 2 sessions of that.
We only played 2 sessions of that.
But on that last session, I think what I found enjoyable the most was when, you'd put something in front of us.
Obstacles.
And that obstacle was a troll. And it took us like nearly 2 hours just to fight one.
Just to start doing damage,
And the best was we were almost dead the whole time.
So you guys had the NPC that I created, Rebecca, and she was one of the tavern maids who was associated by a father owning a tavern, and you guys went on an adventure to gift a lot of liquor to someone else, and on your travels, unfortunately, I got you to roll something, and you interacted with a troll. And vice versa. It was
that was a good battle. Like it honestly, it went on. I came home
because I dropped Rebecca from the get go with a boulder of dirt, and then Casselius was rolling terrible. And that's what I love about D&D as well. Is that the rolls dictate the whole storylines. Whether you want to succeed or not, it's my job and your job just to be at the mercy of the dice. Because
but see, the beauty was that it was, Marco, your second session, you didn't get to see this as much because obviously, like I see Marco all the time, but it was like as soon as I come back from work the next day, Marco's like, dude, I nearly died.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's weird how attached you become to your characters.
Just after 1 or 2 sessions.
It's another extension of you. You know what I mean? Like
you want to be the.
That's the thing.
You want to be the.
You make this character, and then you don't want to add stuff of yourself, but then you do, and then. It's certain things that you connect with, and I like the journey that it starts to evolve.
Exactly,
And then you think later, if I had to do another character, what I'd want to do, and
Well, but that's the beauty. I was literally sitting down reading that new book that I got, and I already in 2 seconds I was like, I have a new character.
Okay.
I was like, I saw a woodwode. I was like, I want to be a tree that protects the other trees, basically.
Almost like a Groot or a Lord of the Rings Ents.
I wanted to be that sort of like ancient knight sort of thing, but it's
awesome.
I literally made that just by looking. I was like, oh, that's a picture of a tree guy. There's a character done.
Yeah, I've seen that in a couple of the monsters.
I was like, that's a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Can you play 2 characters on? Like when you're playing, like if we're in our session, if I wanted to introduce another character, can you do that?
It is a difficult thing to juggle characters.
Yes.
Because not only do you have 2 sheets, but you almost have 2 personalities that you need to dictate and separate pretty well.
I can show you. Critical Role recently did it.
Yeah.
These are professional people that do it.
I'm not saying I'm not.
But it's doable.
It's doable. But you watch these guys, and they're full voice actors in work and all that sort of stuff, and they're having even they're like, oh wait, who am I again? Wait, which character am I?
Yeah.
It's tough. The reason I'm playing 2 characters right now is because Belk's
one's
I can't.
One's dead.
Right now. I didn't even bring his character sheet out.
You actually now, going back to the beginning of Grungle and what happened.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
You should have seen when I come back.
His face, I saw the backside of your head, like to the side of it, and I was just like, what Grungle? Oh my god!
It was
And
like- it
the
was
fact that it was so unfortunate because I love that you were so excited to see Grungle make his
Yes.
return,
Yes.
but the fact that you guys had played this yourselves and no one else saw the development
Yeah.
and the character building of your history together
Mm.
was kind of the like, oh, that would have been perfect if it was someone else. Like if you'd all known and everybody, because I set the scene, and the scene was they were all in a bar, and there's been a book that you guys were almost working on figuring out and decoding and decrypting magically
Yes.
and common sense as well about it. And in that kind of whole decrypting of the book, something happened and went wrong, and quite a few spells were unleashed from the book and caused the building to start exploding in different areas. And from that,
because Grungle tried to steal it.
and yeah, and that was all because of Grungle and his inability to stop himself from
Yeah.
doing things.
To not be a kleptomaniac.
Yeah, he doesn't have that beautiful filter that
Yeah.
stops people from, like, maybe you shouldn't start lighting fuses on
Yeah.
things that are in the dark, but he starts doing that.
Well, see, the beauty of Grungle for me as well. So I remember I said this to you. I think I for a little while was having a bit of problems with playing Felix because I was like, it's a serious character. I don't know how I feel playing a serious character. I
Yeah.
wanted to play more of a jokey character.
Yep.
But as we kept playing, I was like, no, I'm really starting. The payoff is going to be really good for what I have
For the end,
left
yeah,
in
100%.
Velox. But this gives me the opportunity because, I mean, hell, I don't even know when Velox is coming back. He's gone off. He's training with his grandfather now. I have no idea when it's coming back. Hell, I was actually going to go, hey, how do I make my character sheet for this? Because it's going to be later, right?
Yeah.
But I don't even want to know because I want it to be that surprise.
Surprise, yeah.
Whereas this will give me, God knows how long, to just play Grungle.
As Grungle, yeah, and get those...
this complete idiot.
Exactly.
I'm so excited.
Well, there's a lot in, like, talking about information sheets, trying to create the backstory.
Yes.
And then, you know, the journey where you want to set, it's like, you know, you've got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and all that in between stuff. You don't know what's going to happen, but you know there's not so much an end, but you want to get to a certain point. And now with the cast or the crew that we've got, you've got so many people. Then you've got to add their backstory.
Yeah, exactly. You've got more layers that you have
You know.
But I
innately
also-
built into you.
I can't stress enough, and I've said this to you so many times. You are now governing 5 people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
And
mean?
I
You have 5 people's stories that you have to try and integrate with your story already.
And it's surprisingly... look, I don't want to make it sound that it's easy, but it's easy to fixate on something that I find enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I do know it helps that we're all so new. We didn't have fully fleshed out backstories.
No,
right?
some of you had better backstories than others, and some of them had, like, right off the bat, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to get there.
Well, I mean,
But that was with the first group. They were, like, pretty flushed out and pretty well versed in D&D. But then the second group, with your group, was a bit more slower to get the ball rolling. But once you got the ball rolling, man, did you guys you started throwing the ball. You forgot to roll it. You started throwing
I
it.
told you for like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
just
that was
to
the
talk about
whole
backstory,
talk
you know?
about the Assassin's
And it
Creed,
was-
and that's what I loved about it.
yeah,
It was
and I was
like,
like,
this
hey.
could work so well, because then it gives, when you do those small chit chats and those talks and the backstories, you get the full Casselius' backstory of Venturus, which is a completely different continent. And I talked to you about building my world bigger and better and bolstering it with different continents, because you can't have a planet or a world without other
Yeah.
neighboring continents.
And
So
does that help you when people do that?
Oh, it's fantastic. It gives the DM the information that can be used to be like, I can thread the story even better. So I can give you a brotherhood that you served with in the old continent, and I can give you a reason for your exile. And you gave me that as what you wanted to be, is like, the king was murdered, and then now the king's hand wants your head. And then you completely... I ran with that, and I ran with it like a kid with a firework. I was just going
I
crazy.
even named one of the characters from your name, didn't you?
Sacharius.
Sacharius.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. When I
That's
heard
good.
his name, because in the dialogue, we never created something.
No, I was thinking
All
about
I
it
had,
as I was coming
yeah,
up. I
yeah.
was like,
All I had was that you were a former military man who distinguished himself from his class, but then unfortunately through certain events,
Mhm.
you had to almost cut ties with everybody.
Mm.
Your name was still a valid source of honor,
Mm.
but you still had cut ties.
Very Game of Thrones. you
Oh,
know
it
what I
can
mean?
be-
I love it. That's
that's-
what I, you know. I
Game
do
of Thrones
dig
would
it.
be an awesome D&D.
Yeah,
well.
sure.
Yeah, because it is the same kind of building platform for a lot of the fantasy worlds out there, and that's what Matt was saying. It's that it is so versatile D&D. Because before we played this, I had a concept idea of doing a Jurassic Park
Wow.
and doing not just Jurassic Park, but doing a Skull Island. So from Skull Island, they ventured to Jurassic Park, and through that kind of culmination of seeing the whole world of Skull Island, they built a park out of it, and whoever survived on Skull Island would get to run the park. And there would be trial and tribulation on Skull Island, as most places need to have that kind of storytelling. But all those kind of domino effect into Jurassic Park's kind of theme park.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, oh man, that'd be so sick. But I never got to do that, and it was just like, it's a missed opportunity, but it's like saved in a file under a
Yeah.
different day.
Even doing like a story on like a Jurassic World type, then that would keep you on edge. That would keep
Yeah,
you,
because-
that you can't just sit in a room and wait.
You're like,
No.
please don't piss Sash off because he'll sick
Yeah.
a T-Rex on us.
I got one hit out of that Jurassic Park, and it was total shambles. It was because I did not do my homework, nor did I set up any stat sheets. I just wanted them to do a rescue mission,
Mm.
and the rescue mission was, and I changed the rules. I made a homebrew rule, and it was, do not roll a nat 1 at all costs.
What's that mean?
And I told everyone from the get-go, you get certain, like, your character gets a sheet, and it's got like very basic draft stat sheet, so it's like 10 strength plus 2, and then everyone was differently. So they had like a military people, so there was a sniper, there was an ex-soldier, there was a SWAT, there was a herbalist, there was a scientist, and there was like and everyone got an envelope that they didn't get to read, nor they got to choose which one they wanted, and that's what they started with.
Yeah.
And I started them on the island, and I told them, don't roll a nat 1. We got maybe 2 or 3 hours into it, and the first nat 1 rocked up. And I had them encounter, and I told them not to, and everybody, once they heard that, it was kind of like, who's going to be the first one to do it? There was tension that was already
So,
built.
Again, not knowing anything. What
Yeah.
is the nat 1?
So nat 1 is, there are 7 die in D&D, and a D20 is the used die for pretty much every roll. And it's a 20-sided die, and it gives you a evaluation of what your roll will be and what your actions will determine. So if you roll say, you want to look for something in the dark, and you have natural perception of, say, 12, and you want to kind of bolster that or take your chances and roll a D20, and you get, say, a 16, that's better than your natural perspective, and I take that info in, and I say, in the moonlit night, you see a pair of eyes staring straight back at you, and you see that sheen of animalistic retinas looking straight back at you. You can take that information on, and then you can proceed with what you want to do.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And I found that when I told them don't roll an at 1, it was going to be a creature feature, and it was going to be an encounter, one that they would most likely lose a couple of people, and one that they would take quite heavy tolls on. So I had them
The natural one. You said natural one.
a natural one. You weren't in my homebrew game, which is home
So
rules,
on the dice,
on the
1 to
dice.
20.
Yep.
Don't
if you
throw a 1.
Don't throw the 1.
How could you? How do you stop that?
You don't. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
Is that you don't want to be the person to roll
1
it.
in 20 chance.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 in 20 chances, and it doesn't happen that often.
I don't think I've rolled a 1.
I have.
I know Grungle has, because you rolled a nat 1 on the poison.
Oh yeah.
You rolled because that was when you got poisoned by
right.
the alcohol. Yeah.
Again, I've got the dice in front of me. There's all the different types of dice,
Yeah.
and I still haven't figured out. Like, I don't think I've even used them all yet.
No, and you might not use them for a long time.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are a lot of them are primarily used in damage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So when you swing your sword, you'll use like
A D6.
my daggers for Grungle. I have an ability called Sneak Attack, which adds an extra D3, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Which is
triangle.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I'll roll my normal attack, which is a D6, the 6-sided die,
Yeah.
and then I'll have to roll the triangle as well. So, but that's like the only time I've rolled it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So, and sometimes, well, how many? Well, I'm sure people knows how many there are, but yeah, the D20 is the one that does.
That's
makes
Every,
races.
pretty much everything.
Mm.
Yeah. That's like the
Um,
first die anyone should get in a dice set is a D20
Mm,
because it sets the standard for most of the game.
yep.
Because you can use a D20 and you don't even have to do an encounter of any sort, and you can play a whole game, a whole 5-hour game with just a D20,
Awesome.
and that's like so handy.
Mm. Does that move the story quicker? You find?
I guess it would be.
I actually, I can't remember the name of the game. I just found another tabletop game that primarily only uses D6s. And the idea of that game is that is meant to be faster. So rather than, because 1 to 20, you have so many more
chances of
something else,
Yeah.
but also different stats, different damages, all that sort of stuff. Whereas 1 to 6, it narrows it down so much.
Yeah.
So the gameplay itself is actually a lot faster. Like combat is so much quicker. So it can be faster if you're pretty much only using the D20 and stuff like that. But for the most part, because there's so many numbers in it, it's meant to be more accurate.
Yeah, gives you a better percentage of a better hit rate.
Yep. Beautiful, awesome. One thing I'd like to say is that I do enjoy when you make up spells or certain things that you carry with you.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things when we were all together and I created my snail weed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it's funny. I think I don't know how it came about, but
It's because you love chili.
Yeah.
Because we were eating, and I thought I'd like to put something with this to make it more
To
tasty.
bolster, the bolster the
You
flavour.
were just like, oh yeah, I pull out this vial of snail
weed.
And we're like, what is that? You're like, it's really spicy and stuff. I was like, oh, so it's chili. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, sort of. And then you give it to one of the
NPCs.
NPCs.
Yeah.
We nearly killed him immediately.
And we nearly, that's fantastic. And not
Just
everyone.
on chili.
And
Just
it's great because
poor Bill.
Yeah,
Poor Bill.
everyone had to roll whether they wanted. No, I think if they wanted to try it or they.
Yeah,
I had
that's
to roll.
it's
I
a
had to
constitution.
make I had to make a roll to make sure that again the constitution basically story wise to make sure my stomach could handle it.
Yeah,
awesome.
that's
And
pretty
I
much
took-
all it
I
is.
took
Yeah.
damage, and again, I think you said that.
Bill took absolute every point of damage you could
yeah.
possibly
That poor
take
guy,
from that.
You added the first like real NPC, and where we were basically just like kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it was.
he did
It
everything.
was.
He stepped into the fire for everybody.
Yeah. Well, he's also fainted, and then you guys chose to use him as a projectile to hit
That was-
something, and it was
that
like,
good. You
But
know
that's okay.
that?
'Cause after that, I made it a point to make him. He's my best mate.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
And he tried to get him a girl. So.
No, I didn't try.
Oh yeah, you did. You did. That's
yes,
good.
yes,
Oh,
and
that's good.
that's something else that I love about D&D is that you fall in love with the world just as much as you fall in love with your character. Because if I can make you feel that a character is in danger that you love, it gives me the ability, and I love using this term because it's one of my favorite terms. It's twisting the knife, and I can give you a reason to care about your character because you've fallen in love with something about the game.
Although it was fun when we threw Bill, watching your like twisting the knife. And
Oh,
your-
I was very close
And-
from
and
just
you-
like ripping the paper stats for
just-
Bill and
I
his
re-
characters.
It's burnt into my brain, which is just like, I think I'm gonna have to rip 3 pages of backstory off.
That's good.
We're like, oh well, he's gonna die.
For the people who don't know at home, Bill had a very main contributing storyline. And because Bill was being used as a projectile, I was very closely having to rethink the whole storyline, which is hard to do when that's pretty much it. That's all you got.
He was then gonna
That's
bring in
awesome.
Greg.
Oh, I was gonna bring in a random character, and this was very
Yeah,
close
check
from
out this
being.
boring guy because I'm not making any more backstory.
I've never ripped up a page, but that I hope that I don't have to.
Oh,
But
now
there's
that-
also
now
there's
that you said
also
that.
there's also I do love the fact that like that's what D&D is, that nothing goes right. Everything can go wrong and everything can go right.
Mhm.
And that goes just as much for the DM as it does for the players. And that's what the dice do. They tell you how well it can go and how well it can get like screwed up.
Well, because we've toyed with the idea of doing it, and I know that one of the reasons we haven't really done it yet is because we were both a little bit worried about like, what if we mess it up? But I already do know of you're going to.
Yeah, and
I love the idea of becoming a DM, and I'm sure it'll get there in time. But I do love using the imagination and creating these worlds, and the rules and learning of things are important. That's why it's good having you and you, Sachin, with us, because you're a wonderful teacher, and that that's what it needs. I think once you get everything down packed a little bit better, perfection is not what we're after. It's just knowing, knowing when if someone asks us a question and you like said roll for perception,
but it's all because you don't even have to do that sometimes. You know what I mean? If I turn around and ask in character,
you would make a good DM, by the way. Right?
See, I agree, but I'm not very good at the drama aspect of it. I reckon I could make the world, I could do the roles, I could do all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to performing it, I don't think I could do it as much.
I beg to differ. I think it'd be very good.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, that's true. But the great thing is, here at Kessel Run, we're starting to grow and bring in more people into the space, and especially we've got some new people that are going to come in and help with DMing. So one thing we do want to say, if there's anyone out there who does want to DM or would like to DM or knows of anyone who DMs, please.
Even if you just want to learn it too.
Yeah.
We've got a guy who's also expressed interest in making his first world as well.
Yeah, everyone starts from square one.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone starts with the nerves. Everyone starts with not knowing how.
But I've just found this really wicked book. I can't remember the name of the character, but it's called like One Shot Wonders.
Okay.
It's got, I think it had something like 300 pages on it.
Of just one shots.
It's just one shots. They all last
Fabulous.
for roughly
One shot is just one story.
One quick session.
Yeah.
So it lasts for, this was saying 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that sounds like it'd be perfect for
like a bite-sized piece.
For first-time DMers, players, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because again, 3 hours is nothing. That's what we do roughly each session, and we're on to 5 or 6 now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big shout out to our crew, by the way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you want to give them their names?
Except Damien.
What about explain? Might as well tell everybody what the other lads, what they've done in their characters. Can you recall them? What's in our crew? So there's 5 of us.
Yeah. So Carl is playing a character called Carlin.
Yep.
Best name. He is a dwarven barbarian.
Yes.
I believe he's a Scottish or Irish.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest.
I think he's Scottish.
For a fellow who hasn't played D&D before,
he's taken it so well in his stride.
I think his character might be my favorite character.
Yeah. Okay.
He's nearly died.
He's had something embedded in him, an insect chrysalis, and they had to perform a surgery on his arm. And I did a lot of homework on the arteries and vein works in the human biology just to make sure that there was enough room for them to fail, either killing Carlin or saving Carlin or even taking the whole arm off.
That's good. And that helped because he was actually going away. So we needed an excuse
we did like an emergency.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Well, the best part is as well, he's always like half dead, and he's for the longest time he's only had one piece of gold as well.
Yeah,
so
he's been a broke dwarf.
And then James his character's Richard, who is a cleric.
He's an acolyte, isn't he? Or is that is a cleric? I forgot. Yeah.
So the class is cleric, but I think you've had it in the story that his band is called Acolytes or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because I know that there's a background called Acolyte, but I believe you've made it a little bit more expanded upon.
I think I've broadened the aspect of Acolyte.
Because I know I think he said he's planning on becoming a war cleric.
Okay.
James is set up. He's done very well. He's organised himself very well.
That man takes notes like a friggin' champion.
Yeah, he's definitely like the backbone. If I've forgotten something, I can rely on people at the table to just fill me back in.
I watch him just jot things down. I was like, I don't even remember Sachin saying that. And it was like 3 seconds ago.
It's like the Laura Bailey, pretty much.
I think you could actually write a novel after the whole story's
Seriously.
done.
Oh,
That'd be-
100%.
It would be the easiest thing to transcribe because he's just got it all there.
It's got the script work.
Which is good. I think should every group have someone like that in the group?
I feel like
It's
it,
needed, but it's good.
Yeah.
it helps in the long run
Yeah.
because people who forget things and either
That
forget
counts
their
for me,
notes
definitely.
or a little bit forgetful for how their character is either developing.
Mm.
Because the amount of times I've had people like talk about something and be like, "Oh my god, did I have a horseshoe or did I have a feather?" And someone else down the line just goes, "No, you had a horseshoe, but it had a feather insignia on it." And it's like those just like, "Oh, that's right, yes,
That's
okay."
good. That's good.
That's James.
And that's just James. He's
yeah.
really, really good
Yeah.
and detailed in
Yeah.
his like who said what and
Good
when it
having
was
you with
said.
us, James.
Yeah, it helped.
And who's our final?
And Damien.
Damien, yes.
No, I'm kidding. He is playing Dash the Fighter,
Yes.
who is more akin to a knight,
Yeah, he has an oath.
but unfortunately for the poor man, he's just lost all his armor.
Yeah, I want to set the stage that's like the whole thing is about a book, and the diary informs the characters that are playing on a amount of islands that they need to go to certain places to figure out a riddle and restructure it and do what the riddle says. But while doing this, they're also taking in each island that they travel to, and it's an archipelago,
Mhm.
and it's called the Shattered Archipelago, and they're finding different things about different islands. So each island has its own distinguished ecosystems and own geological areas. And you guys are right now at a place called Thunder Lake, and it is obsidian ridden. So
Mm.
it is right at the base of a volcano, and you guys have been staying there overnight and enjoying what this ecological area has to offer. Has obsidian up the wazoo. It also has what you guys found out, merfolk who live in said lake, and they have a tendency to take quite shiny things that aren't always inherently obsidian, but some people give offerings of different items of tools, shiny things, little toys. And unfortunately, while Damien was fishing, his character Dash was fishing and unfortunately caught something. Yeah,
Flung straight into the water.
he was pulled into the water, and wearing so many pieces of armor, he started sinking quickly. But while doing that, he was taking damage and also seeing under the water what there was that had to offer, and there was merfolk in the water. And it was just kind of his way of not only interacting with the environment, but interacting with the lore of the area.
Yeah.
And that's something else that the DM does, is build lore.
Yeah. And that was good. And yeah, he did survive.
Yes.
And then
Very, very close.
Yeah.
You guys had to think quite quickly on your toes because every round we made, Dash would be taking damage.
Yes. That was
Oh,
good.
don't worry. He messaged me saying I have another character just in case.
But in,
We always love that. We
yeah.
always love an extra character on ready
Mhm.
to be like,
Mhm.
that was a sad time. Now here's my new character,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we are ready.
It's the Jeremy Clarkson. Oh no. Anyway.
yes,
That's,
yes.
well, guys, look, we'll keep it there. But look, just to say, D&D is it's an enjoyable game to be a part of and to play.
For sure.
And I'll just say that hopefully you enjoyed this little episode that we're trying to start with Kessel Run. Or this is Punch It Podcast. We're going to call this Punch It, Let's Roll. Matt will be with me, and Sachin will be a guest coming in every now and again. We'll bring in some new people to be a part of it, and hopefully you've enjoyed yourself. Again, it's very raw. We're getting used to it, both of us, but Matt's done a great job. Done a fantastic job, actually. And if you want to know more about us, or Kessel Run, hair& collectibles, D&D, please email us at
KRDND15B@gmail.
and you can attention to Matt or Marco, but I prefer your attention to Matt because he's on point with all that. But Sachin, brother, thank you so much for hanging out. And
I have to say, thank you so much for being the first ever podcast I've ever been on. So
that's cool, man.
that's
Isn't it cool?
even cooler in my books.
Well, we're probably going to
because-
get 1 or 2 people watching, but don't worry, it's fun.
No, that's fine.
just
It's
fun
this
to
is
do.
this is the first time seeing a setup like this and enjoying an environment where it's just chit chat.
Mm.
It's just talking about something that everybody in the room loves, and
That's right.
that's where it is like the best part.
And I think the idea is for those, especially me being the one who doesn't know anything about it. I like to ask questions and help bring things out. And you boys do have a lot more knowledge. But I like the fact that people see this, who will get to know Kessel Run Hair and Collectibles, and want to know more about it and come down. And if you're watching this as a D&D podcast, we're actually hairdressers who cut hair, talk Star Wars, play D&D, and hang out in a wonderful warehouse in Adelaide, South Australia. So again, I'd like to say thanks very much for listening, and come along the journey and punch it. Let's roll.
Punch it, let's roll.
Punch it, let's roll.
I didn't get you on that one, but
that's okay.